Welcome to the IREL podcast. Are you sick and tired of real estate gurus pitching their next pre-construction deal only to find out years later they were completely wrong? Worried the next overseas conference you spend thousands to attend will only be used to sell overpriced lots and deserted developments? Join thousands of other international real estate seekers who are looking for their place in paradise without the sales pitch. Straight from your host, Taylor White.
Hey, real estate seeker. Welcome to the Overseas Property Insider Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor White. I am proud to say this episode is brought to your earbuds, courtesy of my friends at Home Exchange. How would you like to connect with like-minded travelers, experience a brand new city, live like a local, and stay completely free? Welcome to the world of Home Exchange. Head on over to irelpodcast.com/exchange to get started. I am thrilled to share another Mexico insider when I sit down and speak with Diego Garcia from Moskito Real Estate in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. And as always, we'll get the true story on the local real estate scene and have you coming away wanting to investigate its local property market further or cross it off your short list entirely and continue listening. Right now from Diego, you will learn the Playa del Carmen real estate market has fared the best in all of Mexico, and all of its pent-up inventory from 2009 is long gone. Believes the buy-to-flip days are back if you're looking to get in and out within 18 to 24 months. Exposed as an up-and-coming area not far from Playa, Diego believes should be on your radar if you're looking for mid to long-term and a much more quiet destination. And much more. And don't forget, if you're listening to this podcast and want to grab Diego's contact details, links on buying or selling Playa del Carmen real estate, or any other show notes, head on over to irelpodcast.com/42. Get healthy and drink some agua de chia, spray on some more suntan lotion, and let's head back down south to Mexico. In case you can't tell, I'm excited. Let's get Diego on the phone. What's going on, Diego? It's Taylor White. I'm excited to have you on the podcast today, straight from Playa del Carmen, Mexico, so we can get to know you personally. Tell us more about yourself and where your stomping grounds were before you ended up in Playa del Carmen.
My pleasure. Well, I'm originally from Mexico City. I'm 38 years old, by the way. I was born and raised there. And even though I love Mexico City and I used to have so much fun there, I always loved the beach. So every time I visited any beach, I would feel like staying. And, especially living in Mexico where we have all these amazing beaches, it was kind of my dream. I hold a business degree specialized in marketing. And while living in Mexico City, I ran different companies. All of them were focused in customer service. One of them involved with tourism and traveling. So I've basically been an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old. I love traveling and meeting people and culture from all around the world. The first time I came to Playa was in 1997, and then I kept coming just for vacations to enjoy the beautiful beaches and chill out mood. And after some years, I decided it was the place I wanted to live. And of course, it also represented an opportunity for entering into a local real estate market. So I started doing some business while still living in Mexico City, and I mean real estate business. And I finally moved in with my wife in 2005. When I started Moskito Real Estate that same year, I got associated with my business partner, an old friend from Mexico City, and here I am.
So, Diego, I have to ask, we have listeners from over 47 countries. What's the weather like today in Playa del Carmen?
Like today, it's a sunny day. We are around 27 Celsius, which is like 80 degrees Fahrenheit. We have like nice weather all around the year. The coldest day of the year, the record coldest day of the year, which was 2 years ago, it was something like 12 Celsius, for you to have an idea. So it's basically like a place where you can enjoy the beach and getting into the ocean every single day of the year.
Absolutely love it, Diego. And so we can get a better idea of you professionally. Give us your brief resume leading up to Moskito Real Estate.
Well, as I was telling you, I was an entrepreneur since I was 19 years old. My first business was a security company in Mexico City during the time where all these big residential areas and big corporation buildings will start controlling visitors' access, together with all these big parties at high school and university that will be higher security services. It was actually so much fun during those days. Then I went to the restaurant business. We opened 2 very successful restaurants, and some years later, I opened an ecotourism travel company where we basically traveled all around Mexico and other parts of the world doing rafting, scuba diving, trekking, rock climbing, among other activities. So I've always loved creating new projects where there are good opportunities. And of course, while visiting Playa del Carmen and Tulum areas, especially after 1999, I started both falling in love with the place and helping some friends making intelligent investments in this area. Little by little, I studied what was going on, and I saw the potential that this area had. So in 2005, we opened Moskito Real Estate. We created Moskito Property Management, which helped us a lot to really understand our clients' needs and demands. We opened a vacation rental division also to keep on the tourism industry. And of course, the real estate area where we've been helping people to get their dream home and making good investments. I'm a certified realtor by NAR. I'm part of AMPI's board of directors, which is the Mexican Association of Real Estate Agents. I'm particularly leading the ethics committee. And, well, basically that.
And then, Diego, just to clarify, do you handle buyer sellers as well as vacation rentals?
That's right. We have we have both divisions, the real estate one where we take care of sales, and the property management and rentals as well, which becomes kind of a post-buying service to the clients that are investing through us.
Well, Diego, listeners and I are always fascinated to learn about which countries people have considered and why. Now, why don't we delve deeper into Mexico as a whole, and then why you chose Playa del Carmen in particular versus other popular spots?
Okay, well, I mentioned I love traveling. I've been literally all around the world, and I can tell you that Mexico is one of the most fascinating countries in this planet. It has beautiful beaches, rainforests, deserts, rivers, mountains, beautiful towns, amazing cities, lots of culture. I'm talking about from many indigenous communities keeping their traditions, archaeological sites all around, to contemporary art. There are many places, especially the touristic ones, with very good infrastructure, but still the Mexican flavor. The people is really nice, friendly, helpful. Of course, I can't hide all the terrible propaganda we have been suffering and some truth about social and drugs problems in Mexico. But what the news doesn't tell is that this is happening in specific areas, especially close to the border with the United States, and many places like where we are thousands of kilometers from those cities. So why Playa del Carmen? Paradise. Some of the best beaches in the world are here. Amazing natural sites, waters. The second biggest reef in the world, which of course it's a paradise for divers. All this combined with a growing town where there is people living from all around the world. So this gives you a really nice multicultural experience. But for me, still in your country, we have amazing international restaurants, shopping, and you can still enjoy the slow pace of the Caribbean, where you can walk everywhere and have friends from the States, from Canada, Italy, Spain, Argentina, Israel, Germany, Brazil, England. I mean, you will find restaurants, typical restaurants from all these places, because people from all these places actually living here. And also you have cinemas, hospitals with bilingual doctors. I mean, all what a first world person will need for living. So, I would say I'm in paradise, and I'm in a growing paradise, so that's why I'm here.
So, Diego, we're looking at a map of Mexico. Can you better explain where Playa del Carmen is located?
Playa del Carmen is specifically located in the Yucatan Peninsula. Many people actually knows where the Yucatan Peninsula. This would be kind of the southeast part of Mexico. We're facing the Caribbean.
Well, Diego, we have gotten to know you both personally and professionally, reasons why you chose Mexico, and why Playa del Carmen speaks to you. But get ready, because now it's time for us to pick your brain on the local real estate scene and to get the juices flowing. We're going to do a quick round of what I like to call the real estate hot seat. We'll ask you 5 rapid-fire questions, and you give me an answer in 15 seconds or less each. Diego, are you ready for the Playa del Carmen hot seat?
Let's do it.
All right. What currency is real estate priced in?
U.S. dollars, although since we're in Mexico and some sellers are Mexican, some of them like selling the agreed prices in pesos. And of course, the title or deeds are in pesos, of course, since we're in Mexico.
Is owning property as a foreigner legal?
Yes, it is legal. You need to do it through a fund trust. It is 100% legal and safe.
Can property be titled?
Of course, it can be titled. I would say if you're buying property, it has to be titled.
Can money flow in and out of Mexico easily, or are there currency restrictions?
No, there are not currency restrictions. It is pretty easy to make wire transfers in and out. Lots of, international banks operating here. So, it's a day-to-day thing.
And of course, my number one question, Diego, what is your favorite local drink?
Okay. Well, I'm not a big drinker. I hope not to be boring, but I love agua de chilla, which is a local fruit. Mexican beer is pretty amazing. And mezcal, which is similar to tequila, is a killer. And everyone coming to Mexico should try it.
And then, Diego, I have to put you back on the hot seat for question 6. As we know, Mexican food is one of the best in the world. What are some local dishes that you really love?
Well, chilaquiles is one. The typical tacos are great. Enchiladas is another great dish. I don't know if you will need me to explain what these are, but...
No, of course not. I love those.
Those are the winners. Just ask for them.
And then, Diego, I know that you've said that you've been to a few spots in Mexico, such as Mexico City. Can you better explain what you think the cost of living is like in Playa del Carmen versus some other spots that you've been in Mexico?
Well, I would say, if you're comparing it with, let's say, small towns in Mexico, it could be above average. If you're comparing it with Mexico City, for example, it's like, less expensive. If you compare it, I know most of your audience is in the United States. If you compare it with living in any part of the United States, like it's pretty cheap. That's actually one of the reasons why Playa del Carmen has attracted lots of foreigners, especially from the States and Canada. You can live for, I don't know if it's proper to give a number for living because there's all type of budgets, but basically I could say that it's maybe 60% of what you will use or invest in your living in most of the cities in the United States.
Okay, Diego, you are off the Playa del Carmen hot seat, but it's time to zero in on the local real estate scene. Give us your brief synopsis on the Playa del Carmen real estate market over the last few years, where it is today, and then where you see it heading for the very near future.
Okay, well, Playa del Carmen's real estate market has been very active in the last years. Contrary to what many people thought, it was probably the most healthy market all around Mexico and the United States during 2008, 2009. It was, of course, a buyer's market with lots of opportunities, and it slowed down a lot, but it never stopped. The Riviera Maya, which is basically 60 kilometers, let's say a little bit south from Cancun down to Tulum, and especially in Playa del Carmen, which is the most important touristic destination, in Mexico. So you can imagine all the infrastructure and international attention that this place has, which has brought non-stop investment in hotels and communications, and of course residential and commercial real estate. The market has picked up since 2012. Especially this year, properties have been selling at the same rhythm they sold in 2007. It's been crazy. The inventory that was still around from 2009 has been, of course, sold. There are dozens of new projects, some interesting pre-sales, which are some of them already 80% sold. There's still good resale deals. And it's so great because there's all these new touristic projects about to come. The Yucatan Peninsula will be connected to a new train. Tulum, which is about 50 kilometers south of Playa del Carmen, is just being discovered. And believe me, it is paradise. So bottom line, prices are starting to go up again. And through these last years, we proved how healthy and active the real estate in Playa del Carmen is and the entire Riviera Maya.
And then, Diego, I'm curious, what's the normal clientele that you deal with?
It's a combination between people from the States, Canada, and Mexico. Generally speaking, let's say 65% of the market is by Canadians and Americans. Then something around 20, and it's increasing a little bit, it's by Mexicans. The rest is a combination between Europeans and South Americans. So that's also basically what we're dealing with.
Diego, why don't we move now to locations and pretend you're Google Maps or Google Street View for us. What streets, neighborhoods, or parts of the city are we talking about in Playa del Carmen?
Of course, it depends on what people like, and probably the good thing is that there's all different kind of neighborhoods and properties. Well, Playa is still a very small place. Fifth Avenue is a famous pedestrian street where most of the restaurants, cafes, and shoppings are, and it is steps from the beach. So, of course, one of the golden rules could be close to Fifth. But since Fifth goes for miles, there are still many neighborhoods around Fifth. If you like, for example, golfing and quiet areas, Playa Car is still the perfect gated community. Lots of green areas, well planned around the golf course, and of course connected to Fifth Avenue and downtown Playa. Cocoa Beach area is a booming neighborhood in downtown Playa, where some of the newest condos are being built. It is located between Fifth Avenue on the beach. We call the Nueva Quinta, which means New Fifth, from Constituyentes Avenue down to Cocoa Beach area, which I just mentioned. This is the most desirable location nowadays, and since we're talking about 15 blocks, there's lots of options for all kind of budgets depending how close to the water and Fifth you are. If you want to live, for example, in a gated community but pay less, Selva Mar and El Cielo are great options. Both are 24/7 secured gated communities. This is in the northern part of Playa del Carmen. You will need a car to get to the beach. I mean, a 5-minute drive, and a 7 to 10 minute drive to get to downtown Playa. But it has been the perfect location for families who end up living here. And let's say that you get more for less. And well, this is just Playa del Carmen. We can forget about Puerto Aventuras, which is a gated community with marina and golf course, which is 20 kilometers south of Playa. And of course, Tulum, which is just happening, and as I said, has the best beach in the Riviera Maya and is about to boom.
And then, Diego, now that we have locations in mind, what types of properties do you recommend? Are we talking about buying pre-construction units for capital appreciation that we later flip? Are we talking about buying completed apartments, houses, or office spaces to generate rental income? Or are we talking about buying land to either sell as is or subdivide into smaller tracts? Diego, give us a better idea of what you are talking about today.
Okay, Taylor. Firstly, for most of the people that invest in Playa, we're talking about looking to own your vacation dream home in a paradisiac place. After saying this, nowadays there's really interesting pre-construction options which are having good appreciation and are perfect options for buying and flipping in 12 or 18 months. These new condos are also the perfect place to enjoy during your vacations and rent throughout the year as a vacation home while you're not here, making it a cost-free property and making some money. This in the case you want to keep it and you want to have your second home. I need to say these are not the craziest return on investment properties, but they are the perfect vacation home, which will give you some extra income. Also, for people looking for a second home, there are many interesting resale markets. Since Playa is a place where many people come for vacations, falls in love, and lives for some years, it's also a place where many people suddenly lives and goes back, which often brings very good opportunities, and we are always there to show them as an option to our clients. For what I call comfortable investments, there are some good opportunities in resales that are very good for long-term rentals. Let's not forget that this is one of the fastest growing places in the world, and there's new people moving in every day, and they need a place to live. So for investors looking for a 7-8% return on investment in a property that could be bought below the market value and will keep appreciating, there are some very good deals from sellers that bought many years ago and they need their money back. And now let's move out of Playa. Again, generally speaking, Tulum is a place that must be considered for someone who is a mid-term and long-term investor, and also for someone looking for a more laid-back and quiet town. There's many hotels, but few vacation rental properties. So this means a lot of, a very good opportunity. There's lots of demand nowadays, and more to come. Developments are completely sold in pre-sale, and Tulum is about to be the best destination in the Riviera Maya. So basically, you get and will keep getting excellent appreciation. You can get good numbers through vacation rentals, and will get better ones in the years to come. You can even get wonderful return investments in long-term rentals, since more and more hotels are opening, which brings more and more people to live in Tulum. And speaking about land, as you can imagine, Tulum is also the right place since it's growing. There's also land available for reasonable prices, either to build or to sit for some years with tremendous appreciation. There's the typical stories in Playa del Carmen of the people that ride at the right time and literally become millionaire after some years. This is the time for Tulum for doing the same. It's growing, and it's getting better known by many people, so it's about to happen.
Okay, Diego, now I'm going to hit you up with a two-part question that I know everyone wants to know, and you have to give us a general range, so we have some price points in mind. Here they are. Part one, what would be the price range of what we are talking about? Maybe give us a starting price point at the low end to a final price point at the high end, and just to clarify, I'm talking about total purchase price.
Okay. You can buy a two-bedroom condo, which could be excellent for long-term rentals, for $115,000 US. Vacation rental properties in Playa start at the 200,000 range. When they are, let's say, 5 blocks, by the way, very short blocks, I'm talking about 5 to 7 minutes walking distance to the beach. Or you can get a 400,000 condo with ocean views, 600,000 to $1.5 million condo on the beach. And let's say that you could even get a $2 million or $3 million US property or more if you're looking for a beachfront house. In Tulum, you can get a two-bedroom brand new condo for less than $200,000. There's no beachfront properties in Tulum. Well, yeah, more or less this.
Diego, why don't we transition to a part two? What would be the cost per meter just for a general range?
Well, let's say $1,000 US per square meter in the low end, and something like 5,500, sometimes a little bit more, average in the high end.
And then, Diego, I want to follow back up. What's the price range that most of the clients that you deal with look in?
We're talking about between the 200 and 400,000 properties, which are the perfect vacation properties.
And then do most of the clients that you deal with, do they live down there full-time? Do they live down there part-time? What do they do?
It's an interesting combination, Taylor. There's many people that are using their property as a vacation home, coming probably 6 weeks of the year, sometimes 3 months of the year. We have lots of snowbirds. There's also people that start using their property like that, and after some years they use it as a retiring property. It's a combination in between people just having their vacation home and many others that are literally retiring in Playa del Carmen.
Okay, Diego, this is a question I like to call, what would sister do? My 40-something-year-old sister calls you up, says she has X amount of dollars to spend. You know, you can't let my sister down, Diego. Share with us 3 examples you would show her and explain why these make sense. Okay.
For Playa del Carmen, if she's a Playa del Carmen lover, I would tell her if you have 120,000 and you don't want to use the property, I will tell her to buy a 2-bedroom condo in Playa Car area and keep it rented for a 7 to 8% return on investment. If she has 230 to 400,000 as a budget, I would probably tell her to put 30% down and buy in pre-sale on a beautiful 2-bedroom condo, 30 steps, or let's say 5 minutes walking distance from the beach. And why this? Because 2 of the most important developers in town have amazing pre-sale projects right now, are selling fast and raising prices every 4 months. If she has 80,000 now, but could get, let's say, 150,000 in about 18 months, I will tell her exactly the same thing. Use that as a down payment and then pay off when they deliver it. And then if she's not like really married into Playa or to Playa and she has 200,000, I will definitely tell her to invest it in Tulum. Get a 2-bedroom condo below 200,000 in the Aldea Sama area. Condo in Tulum can give you very good numbers in rentals, and Tulum, as I told you, believe me, is just about to boom.
So, Diego, we are laser focused on areas of Playa del Carmen. We know our starting price point. We have an idea of cost per meter. We have examples which are good enough even for my sister. Now, I have to ask an obvious question. How are we going to buy? Do we need to come in with all cash? Or can we come in with a certain percentage down and get local financing from a bank or credit union?
Okay, any cash option is the best in today's market. There's still the option to get financing, but nowadays the only financing options for foreigners are through Mexican banks, are in pesos, which could be good news for foreigners, but they have 10% interest rates, plus you needed to have a special visa, which makes it more difficult. Basically, it involves 6 months paperwork to get the visa, and then you can apply for the loan. I'm not saying it's impossible. There's people that's making it, but definitely it's better in cash. I need to clarify that 2 years ago it was totally different, since foreigner banks were working together with local banks and giving credits in US dollars with 4 to 5% rates. I mention this because I always hear like the typical, my friend bought 4 years ago and he used to do it. Now the market has changed, so I would suggest the best way right now are cash deals.
Okay, Diego, anyone who has ever owned real estate can tell you, you need to have a money exit strategy in place even before you buy. It's something what I like to call, where's the cheddar? You are buying the property to do what with it to make some money. So, Diego, where's my cheddar?
Well, as I've been saying, this is a really, really important touristic destination. So many people are investing to get good return on investment through rentals. I always say if you're investing in one of the most desirable markets in the world, then if you buy in the right time and the right price and you need to sell, there will always be someone waiting for your property. So basically, it's I would say that it's a place where you will have a place in paradise where you can make some money out of it, and then you are in a very active market where you could sell your property. Again, if you bought it at the right price, you will be able to sell it fast whenever you need.
Well, Diego, fantastic answer, and I wanted to thank you for taking the time to share with us about Playa del Carmen real estate. We have heard about your journey, why you chose Mexico, exact areas to focus on, price points to look out for, examples good enough even for my sister, a money strategy to purchase, and then what we might do with it after the fact to make some cheddar. Unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye, but before we do, share with us easy ways to get a hold of you, any parting advice you might want to share, and then let's say goodbye.
Sure, Taylor. Thank you for the opportunity. I guess the advice would be to buy through a certified real estate agent. In Mexico, it's not a law as of today to be certified in order to sell real estate. So just watch out who you work with, and if you're thinking in this paradise as an investment option, I would also say hurry up, since the buyer's market might change at any moment. It's really, really active. It's been active during this year. So we're all surprised how active sales are. So if someone is looking for nice investment opportunities, today is the day. You can contact me any way you want. You can send me an email. My email address is Diego, D-I-E-G-O, @moskitopm.com, which is MOSKITOPM.com. through our main website, which is pretty easy, realestateplayadelcarmen.com.mx and moskitoplayadelcarmen.com. You can join our mailing lists and receive all the real estate updates and main events in Playa del Carmen and Tulum directly in your inbox. You can feel free to call me. I have a U.S. number that rings at my desk, which is 305-395-4296. Of course, I mean, for people listening that might be in Playa del Carmen, you can call at the office, which is 984-803-2582. And, of course, Facebook, our fan page is Moskito Playa del Carmen Real Estate. You can look also for Diego Moskito, and you'll find me. I won't say my Twitter account because I'm not a Twitter man, but, well, there it is. You'll find me as well. And, well, that's it.
Absolutely fantastic, Diego. I have really enjoyed this conversation straight from Playa del Carmen, Mexico to our earbuds, and I hope we can catch up again in 3 to 6 months.
It will be a pleasure, Taylor. Please feel free to contact me whenever you want. Things will be moving during these coming months, and I'm sure your audience will be interested about the details, so please call.
I want to thank Diego once again for taking us south of the border and exposing why Playa del Carmen is one of the premier destinations in all of Mexico for real estate lovers. Diego was extremely knowledgeable and detailed, and I can't wait to get him back on the show again soon with more specific Playa del Carmen real estate investments he believes you need to hear about right now. If you're listening to this podcast and want to grab Diego's contact details, links on buying or selling Playa del Carmen real estate, or any other show notes, head on over to irelpodcast.com/42. Do you get excited watching all these real estate reality shows on TV, but then get really frustrated when you have no way to contact them? Tired of searching for overseas property online, only to get stuck in email hell with sales pitch after sales pitch about so-called secrets? Yeah. That makes two of us. Whether you want to hear direct from the president of the world's leading house sitting site, the president of the premier self-directed IRA company, or an on-the-ground insider in Mexico like Diego, I invite you to join me. Head on over to irelpodcast.com/42 to get started.
You have been listening to the IREL Podcast with Taylor White. Be sure to hit up irelpodcast.com for more. That's irelpodcast.com. Thanks for listening.